Senator James Lankford, who serves on the Senate Intelligence Committee, among others. Great to have you with us tonight.
Glad to be with you, actually.
Okay, so let's start. You just barely made it over here from the Hill, so let's talk about what's going on over there now. Just a little over 24 hours away from a potential shutdown. Doesn't sound like the votes are there to get a temporary funding order going. Now, I'm hearing tonight from the Democrat side, maybe something in the order of 4 to 5 days. I'm hearing from one GOP source, 5 to 6 days. What happens?
Yeah, it's very bizarre. I mean, again, Chuck Schumer knows all the issues on pulling a budget together. You can't do it in 4 or 5 days. It's a very complicated, large document. And the strangest thing is, he stood on the floor and said, we need to do national defense. Well, we tried to bring the defense bill up months ago, and they blocked it, and said, no, we want to use that for negotiations. So it's a strange Orwellian doublespeak that's going on through this. The process does take a while. When you actually get a budget agreement, it takes about 2 weeks to actually finalize the bill to be able to get it done. So to do a 4-day continuing resolution or 5-day to negotiate means you do another 5-day one and another 5-day one. What we put out was a 1-month piece to say, let's finish all the negotiations, get time to write the bill, get it done in an orderly manner, not try to do this continual shutdown cliffs every 4 or 5 days.
It sounds like that's where we're headed, though.
It does, and it's one of these moments that's very odd, again, to be able to walk through. This is about, as the leader mentioned, it's about illegal immigration. It's about DACA. It's about trying to get to this negotiation. I've been in part of that group trying to be able to negotiate this. In fact, Tom Tillis and I were in the group actually doing all the negotiations with Dick Durbin until we were kicked out of that group because we wanted to deal with border security. They only wanted to deal with DACA. And we had said, no, we have to deal with border security and DACA at the same time. We raised it enough that they basically said, you're not invited anymore because we only want to deal with DACA in this group. And so that's been this frustrating thing all along. Since October, the White House put out, here's the parameters of a deal. Here's what we want to be able to have. Again, Chuck Schumer was on the floor today saying we have no idea what the president wants. The president put that out in October. Now, they may not like what he put out, but he put out in October. We've been trying to be able to get to negotiation for months, and they've been stalling. It's been a very frustrating season.
So the two sides are wildly divergent on this, whether we're talking about a pathway to citizenship for the DACA folks, ending chain migration, or ramping it up in some way. A little bit of money for the border wall or $30 billion for the border wall. I mean, they're all over the place. How do you get to common ground and something that can get enough votes, even to get to the procedural hurdle to get to a vote in the Senate? I mean, that seems nearly impossible right now.
What they're trying to do right now is to say, let's take the DACA issue, let's poke it into a funding bill, and then their request is, let's legalize 3 million people in a short-term funding bill and just call this done. And it's just very odd to say, why would you ever do that in that setting? An immigration bill needs to be a standalone bill, debate it, walk through the process of it. We've already set the scope of it. That was what the president set just, 10 days ago now, to say these are 4 items that are in there. Let's finalize that. Once we actually get everyone to the table and to finalize it, we should. The leaders are meeting every single day on this. Our staff was in meetings earlier today. I was in meetings earlier today on it. We're meeting and working through this. And then to suddenly say, we're going to shut the government down if we don't get our proposal on it and we don't get it right now, just seems really strange.
Okay, I want to ask you quickly before we're out of time about an issue that you're really working on, which is executive nominations, and the fact that it's a very long process right now. There's a lot of success in a minority party, and it works for the Republicans too, in blocking these things. But there are so many positions unfilled within this administration, and it's a helpful tool for the opposition to say, we're not going to follow through on any of these nominations. Is there any way that, I know you're trying to work to change it, but will you have any bipartisan agreement on that?
I hope so. Again, we hit a moment like this in 2013 in the Senate. I wasn't there at that time, but Harry Reid came to McConnell and said, let's make a deal on how we're going to do nominations because we're stuck. We can't get anything moving. At that time, there were about 20 nominations that had been blocked. So there was a bipartisan agreement made. Here's how many hours we'll have in debate so we can move it. That was set when Harry Reid was in leadership 2013 and 2014. I brought that exact same deal back and said, now it's not 20 that have been blocked. You blocked 60 so far this last year. So it's over and above, far above what anything Republicans did, what Democrats are doing back. And so let's take the exact same deal that Democrats asked for that Republicans gave them in 2013. And so far the Democrats are saying, no, that was good for us, but it's not good for you. We won't agree to literally the exact same language on that. So I'm going to try to bring it to the floor and say, let's actually resolve this. There is a right way to do it, and let's do it the right way.
Yeah, with so many unfilled positions in key areas that would matter to the president and his goals.
And to the country, quite frankly. These are all key people in all these agencies.
All right, we'll see. Keep us updated. And by the way, you're going to stick around and come back for another hot topic, and so we will see you a little bit later in the hour.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you for doing that.
Thank
All
you.
right.